7 Weird Things Only Sigma Males Do. Stoic Life Lessons. Stoicism. Welcome to Win Stoic, where we embrace the modern Stoic mindset and explore what sets individuals apart from the crowd. Most people follow the same patterns and live by unchallenged rules, but not Sigma males. They don't fit into traditional social hierarchies, and they don't seek validation or status. Instead, they carve their own path, and their mindset often confuses those around them. In today's video, we'll dive into why Sigma males move differently, and why these 7 traits reveal the true power behind their independence. Join us at Win Stoic to uncover the mindset that challenges the system and embraces self-mastery. Number 1, they see through fakeness in seconds. Have you ever encountered someone who just didn't sit right with you? Maybe their smile didn't quite match the sincerity in their eyes, or their words seemed too rehearsed, too perfect. There's something about them that feels off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. For most people, that feeling fades into the background, something easily dismissed. However, for the Sigma male, it's not something to ignore, it's a signal, a warning. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to see through fakeness almost instantly. Thanks to their high cognitive empathy, they can read people on a deeper level, picking up on subtle social cues, body language, tone shifts, micro-expressions, all the little things that others miss. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Sigma males know that deception, even in the smallest form, is a matter of perception, and their ability to detect it allows them to see people for who they truly are, just beyond the facade. This skill makes them naturally observant and aware in social situations, allowing them to pick up on things that others either overlook or ignore. Whether it's someone forcing politeness, faking confidence, or hiding ulterior motives, Sigma males sense it before the other person even realizes they're giving themselves away. It's almost like they have a sixth sense for falsehoods. Have you ever noticed how some people change depending on their audience? They flatter certain people while subtly putting others down. The Sigma male notices this right away, and unlike most, he doesn't engage in the act. While others may play along to avoid conflict or keep up appearances, Sigma males maintain their distance from this type of behavior. They know that when someone's true nature is hidden behind a mask, it's best not to get involved. By doing so, they protect themselves from the deceitful friendships, empty compliments, and hidden agendas that most people unknowingly fall into. It's a survival mechanism, a shield against manipulation. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in false displays of confidence and politeness, but a Sigma male doesn't fall for it. They see through the lies and focus on genuine connections and truth. This is one of the fundamental Stoic life lessons, the ability to see things as they truly are, without being swayed by external appearances or social pressure. While many are busy trying to impress others or maintain a facade, the Sigma male understands that true strength lies in authenticity. He doesn't need to conform or flatter to fit in, because his power comes from knowing who he is and seeing the world clearly. In this way, the Sigma male wins not through force, but through the wisdom of discernment, and by avoiding the traps that others fall into. It's a lesson that's more important than ever in a world that often values appearance over substance. So, if you want to live with the quiet strength of a Sigma male, remember to trust your instincts, stay true to yourself, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who are playing games. It's a powerful way to preserve your peace and protect your energy, and in the end, It's the key to winning, Stoic style. Number 2. They walk away when respect isn't mutual. Respect isn't something Sigma males beg for, demand, or chase. It's something they give and expect in return. But the moment it becomes one-sided, they don't argue, they don't plead, and they don't stick around trying to prove their worth. They just leave. Most people struggle with this. They stay in situations where they're undervalued, jobs where their efforts go unnoticed, friendships that feel draining, or relationships where they're constantly proving themselves. Why? Because walking away feels uncomfortable. Society teaches people to endure, to compromise, to be the bigger person. While that's sometimes necessary, Sigma males know when to draw the line. Psychologists call this low social dependency, a trait found in highly independent personalities. Unlike those who stick around out of fear of loneliness or social pressure, Sigma males have no problem cutting ties the moment they feel disrespected. And they won't make a scene about it. They won't fight for attention or beg to be valued. They'll simply remove themselves and move on. This confuses people who are used to getting away with inconsiderate behavior. They expect pushback, an argument, or an attempt to fix things. But these men give them none of that. No words, no second chances, just distance. People think it's about ego or holding grudges, but it's all about self-respect. A Sigma knows that once respect is broken, the relationship, whether it's a friendship, business partnership, or even family bond, will never be the same again. So instead of wasting energy trying to fix what's already cracked, they do what most people struggle to do: they let go and walk away. If you've ever found yourself in a situation where your respect was taken for granted or ignored, share your strength by commenting, "I walk away when respect isn't mutual," below. Number 3, they reject rules that exist for no reason. Have you ever found yourself following rules without really understanding why? It's something many of us do without even thinking. Take, for example, the famous experiment with 5 monkeys. Scientists placed them in a room with a ladder leading to a bunch of bananas. Every time one of the monkeys climbed the ladder, they were all sprayed with cold water. Over time, the monkeys stopped trying to climb the ladder. But here's the twist. When new monkeys were introduced into the group, they too stopped trying to climb the ladder, even though the cold water was no longer a threat. They had no idea why they were following the rule. They just did, simply because the others did. This is how societal rules work too. People often follow them just because they've always existed, without ever questioning whether they serve a real purpose. But this is where Sigma males differ. They reject these mindless rules that don't make sense to them. This behavior is called heuristic obedience, where people blindly follow traditions or rules without thinking critically about their worth. Sigma males, on the other hand, think independently and seek authenticity rather than validation from others. They're not afraid to question and challenge the status quo. You've likely seen it in workplaces where outdated or unnecessary procedures slow everything down, or in social settings where people act fake to avoid conflict. Sigma males see right through these things. While most people just go along with it to keep the peace, the Sigma male refuses to waste time on anything that doesn't serve a real purpose. It's not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's about efficiency and integrity. As a result, this mindset can frustrate those who rely on conformity and blind obedience. But for those who understand the value of independent thought, it's a breath of fresh air. Sigma males embody the Stoic mentality, embracing the idea of stoic happiness, the idea that true contentment comes not from external validation, but from inner peace and independence. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to break free from the chains of societal expectations and start thinking for yourself? In a world where most people simply follow the crowd, it takes courage to stand alone and question the norms. And that's exactly what makes the Sigma male so rare and powerful. As the philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The Sigma male is someone who embodies that mentality, choosing to forge their own path, regardless of what others think. What would happen if you applied this kind of thinking in your own life? Would it bring you a sense of stoic happiness, free from the constraints of unnecessary rules? Number 4. They move in silence while others seek attention. In today's world, where it often seems like everyone is trying to outshine the next person, there's a group of individuals who prefer to stay in the background, letting their actions speak louder than words. You've probably noticed how some people are always striving to be the center of attention. Loud laughs, exaggerated gestures, and an unrelenting need for praise. This might work for a while, but it's not the path of a Sigma male. A Sigma male understands that real power doesn't come from being the loudest or the flashiest. It comes from moving in silence and letting actions prove your worth. The Sigma male doesn't need to be noticed to get things done. Instead of seeking validation, he quietly works behind the scenes, accomplishing his goals with focus and determination. He understands that the loudest people in the room may not always be the ones achieving the most, and in fact, they often work harder to be seen than to actually accomplish something meaningful. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This quote reflects the essence of Sigma males. They act in alignment with their values and objectives, not for the sake of attention. They move in silence, and this silent strength is often more noticeable than any noise or praise could ever be. In a world obsessed with the need for external recognition, Sigma males understand that true success comes from within, and the best kind of validation is the one that comes naturally through results, not empty applause. They are not interested in drama or constant noise, nor do they feel the need to perform for anyone's approval. They are more focused on growth, self-improvement, and achieving their goals without the distractions that often come with seeking the spotlight. Modern life constantly pulls us in directions where being noticed feels like the ultimate goal, whether it's through social media, office politics, or even within families or friendships. But Sigma males stand apart from this noise. They operate with a stoic mindset, valuing quality over quantity and progress over praise. This stoic life lesson, moving in silence, is a powerful tool in a world that thrives on noise. So, if you're wondering how to win in life like a Sigma male, it's by embracing the silence. The world may keep shouting, but the true victory lies in how you let your actions speak louder than any word or boast ever could. By living this way, you embrace a sense of inner peace and stoic happiness that doesn't depend on the chaos of external approval. If you focus on the quiet work, the deliberate and consistent effort to achieve your goals, you'll see that, just like the Sigma male, your results will make the most noise without you ever having to say a word. Number 5. They actually prefer being underestimated. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. We dive into Stoic life lessons to help you understand the true essence of self-mastery. For most people, the pressure of expectations can be overwhelming. When others constantly expect you to perform at a certain level, you feel trapped, burdened by the weight of proving yourself. But Sigma males, those who follow a path of true independence, prefer the opposite. They actually prefer being underestimated. Now, think about it. How many times have you felt frustrated when others had already set high expectations for you, before you even had a chance to show what you're truly capable of? It's like being forced into a mold that isn't yours, with no room to breathe. For Sigma males, however, being overlooked or undervalued is something they actually enjoy. It's not that they lack confidence, but rather that they don't feel the need to prove themselves to anyone. They understand that the world can be a chaotic place of expectations. So instead of engaging in that race, they choose to stay below the radar. This mindset works in their favor because it grants them the luxury of thinking and planning without the eyes of others constantly on them. Imagine being in a meeting at work where everyone expects the leader to speak up first, and you stay quiet, observing the dynamics at play. While others might be quick to jump in and show off, you're quietly absorbing the details, understanding the nuances, and waiting for the perfect time to make your move. This gives Sigma males a strategic advantage that most people don't recognize. When they're underestimated, they have the opportunity to act freely without being judged, criticized, or interrupted. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Think of a quiet colleague at your office who doesn't seek the spotlight, rarely speaks up in meetings, and doesn't care much for office politics. Everyone writes them off as too quiet or not ambitious enough. But when the big project comes along, it's that person who swoops in and delivers exceptional results, surpassing everyone's expectations. It's not because they didn't have the ability all along, it's because they were waiting for the right moment to shine, not wanting to overperform when no one believed in them. Sigma males use this underestimation as fuel. They keep things simple, letting their actions speak louder than any unnecessary words. They avoid the stress of overperformance, knowing that it's not about meeting others' expectations. It's about letting their work speak for itself when the time is right. This ability to rise above assumptions and perform on their own terms is one of their greatest strengths. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They simply act when the moment comes, and when they do, the world can't help but take notice. So, next time you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by others' expectations or trying to meet a standard that's not your own, remember that sometimes the best way to move forward is to be underestimated. Take a step back, observe, and wait for the right time to reveal your true power. Embrace your own path without the need to prove anything to anyone else. Be the high-value man who doesn't chase validation but lets his actions speak louder than any expectation. Just like the Stoic mindset teaches us, focus on what you can control and don't let the opinions of others dictate your worth. When you realize the power of being underestimated and how it fuels your drive to prove yourself, share your mindset with our community. Comment, "I thrive underestimating," to show that you embrace the challenge and are ready to let your actions speak louder than expectation. Number 6, they're not afraid to stand alone. Here we dive deep into Stoic life lessons and explore how you can live a life of true fulfillment and strength. Let's talk about a mindset that sets high-value men apart: standing alone. Most people fear loneliness. It's deeply embedded in our nature. We crave connection, approval, and belonging. It's the reason why social media is flooded with posts, pictures, and likes. It all comes from a need to belong, to feel valued by others. But what happens when that need for connection forces you into situations, friendships, or groups that you don't truly resonate with. This is where Sigma males stand apart. They've learned that solitude isn't something to fear. In fact, it's something to be embraced. While most people rush to fill the void with shallow friendships or force themselves into groups to avoid feeling alone, Sigma males have a different perspective. They would rather be alone than surround themselves with people who don't contribute to their growth or align with their values. This quality is called self-sufficiency bias, a concept that refers to a person's ability to be content and secure within themselves without constantly needing external validation. Sigma males operate from a place of inner security. They're not defined by how many people they know or how often they socialize. For them, the approval of others is irrelevant because they already recognize their own worth. They're comfortable in their own skin, and they don't need to be constantly surrounded by people to feel valuable or validated. This is a lesson that many people struggle to learn. How many times have you found yourself in a relationship or situation simply because you are afraid to be alone? How often do you keep connections in your life that aren't serving you, just to avoid facing solitude? Sigma males understand that sometimes being alone is the healthiest choice. It's not a punishment. It's a privilege that allows them the space to think, grow, and live without the weight of other people's expectations. The irony here is that society often confuses this choice. For many, standing alone means loneliness, weakness, or isolation. They measure their worth by the number of friends they have or their social activity level. But for Sigma males, this couldn't be further from the truth. They don't view solitude as something to be avoided. Instead, they choose it as a means to clear their mind, focus on personal development, and preserve their energy. Solitude provides them with clarity. It's in these moments alone that they reconnect with their values, hone their skills, and prepare themselves for the next challenge. Let me share a real-world example. Have you ever been in a friendship or even a workplace where you felt that you were just there to fill a role or be part of a crowd? The conversations felt forced and the connection wasn't genuine. How did that make you feel? Disconnected, right? Sigma males don't settle for that. They recognize the value of quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. If the connection isn't real, they won't waste their time trying to force it. They'd rather stand alone than endure the discomfort of superficial relationships. And when they do choose to let someone into their circle, it's not out of need or fear of being alone. It's because they genuinely want to connect. They understand that real connections are built on trust, mutual respect, and shared values, not out of convenience or social pressure. This is a fundamental aspect of the Stoic mentality. The ability to be content within yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to stand by your principles, even when the world around you might encourage you to follow the crowd. So, here's the lesson to take away. Stop fearing solitude. Embrace it as a time for personal growth, reflection, and self-awareness. The Stoic teachings show us that true happiness comes from within, not from the approval or validation of others. Be secure in yourself, and you'll find that standing alone becomes a source of strength, not weakness. Remember, standing alone doesn't mean you're lonely. It means you're choosing to protect your peace and build the life you truly desire. So, take this Stoic life lesson to heart. Let go of the need for external validation and stand firm in your own truth. Only then can you truly begin to live life on your own terms, just like a high-value man does. Number 7. They don't waste time on fake niceties. We've all found ourselves in those conversations where we're just going through the motions, right? You know the kind. Where you're nodding, saying things you don't actually mean just to keep the social gears turning. How's the weather? Good to see you? We've all been there. But here's the thing, while these empty pleasantries might feel necessary in some settings, not every interaction needs to be filled with words. Sigma males understand this deeply. They don't waste time on meaningless niceties. Their approach to conversation is simple and direct, which may seem strange to some, but it's rooted in a strong sense of self-awareness and authenticity. Think about it. How often do we feel compelled to fill a silence with small talk or hollow pleasantries? People often do this because they're uncomfortable with quiet or don't know how to connect meaningfully. But Sigma males, well, they aren't afraid of the silence. They understand that silence is not something to be feared, but rather a space for authenticity to emerge. When they ask how you're doing, they actually want to know. When they share something, it's because it matters. Every word they speak is deliberate and carries weight, which makes their interactions far more meaningful than those filled with shallow exchanges. It's easy to misunderstand this as coldness or aloofness, isn't it? But it's really the opposite. Sigma males simply don't engage in the social game of pretending. They don't feel the need to say things just for the sake of filling the air. Their focus is on substance, not fluff. They want real, meaningful connections, and they know that these connections are not made through repetitive, polite phrases, but through honest, intentional conversation. This is a key part of the Stoic mentality, the idea that we should focus on what truly matters and let go of the unnecessary distractions. Here's something to think about. How much of your energy do you waste every day on interactions that don't serve you? Have you ever considered how much more fulfilling your connections could be if you focused on quality over quantity? Imagine being able to say exactly what's on your mind without the need to fill every pause with idle chatter. For Sigma males, the reward isn't in the number of words spoken, but in their authenticity. Their conversations are deeply fulfilling because they don't chase approval, and they aren't concerned with what others think of their silence. They embrace it as part of who they are, genuine, real, and always true to themselves. As we reflect on this, let's remember that being authentic and embracing silence is a powerful tool. You don't have to waste time on niceties to feel connected. If you embrace this Stoic mentality, you'll find that your connections become more fulfilling, more genuine, and ultimately more aligned with your true self. Don't be afraid to let the silence linger. It's in these moments that you'll often find the most authentic and meaningful conversations. Let go of the small talk and focus on what truly matters. This is where Stoic happiness is born, through meaningful connection, not empty words. So next time you find yourself in a conversation, ask yourself, is this conversation authentic? Does it add value to my life and the other person's? If not, you have the power to walk away or change the course of the conversation. It's all part of mastering the art of real communication, the way a true Sigma male does. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing to our channel for more content on the Sigma personality and other related topics. Don't forget to hit the like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay strong and keep evolving. 7. Unexpected stages every Sigma male goes through. You may have felt it since you were a child. That nagging feeling in your gut when something is wrong but everyone else seems to be fine. That profound question, am I seeing things wrong, or is everyone else missing something? Remember those moments in school when you spoke up in class and everyone looked at you like you had 3 heads. Your Sigma personality isn't a flaw. It's a filter that filters out the artificialities of life, allowing you to see what others are afraid to see. Let's explore the 7 surprising stages every Sigma male goes through in life, and why, once you see them, you'll never look at your journey the same way again. Number 1. The wake-up call. Realizing you're different. Have you ever felt like you were simply different? Like you didn't quite fit into the boxes that others seemed so comfortable in? It's a quiet feeling that lingers in the back of your mind, unnoticed by many, but one day it hits you like a wave. You're not wired the same way as everyone else. This isn't a feeling of being superior or inferior, it's a realization, a wake-up call, that you've never truly belonged to the typical categories of alpha or beta male. This marks the beginning of your journey toward authenticity. Instead of trying to fit into predefined molds, you begin seeking something more real, more genuine. It's a profound, almost imperceptible shift, and once it takes root, you begin to see your past in a completely new light. The things that once seemed confusing now make perfect sense. The times when you questioned social norms or observed the superficiality of others suddenly align with your true nature. You've always been more inclined to analyze than to accept things at face value, and now you realize that this is exactly how you're wired, like a Sigma male. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." For Sigma males, these trials, those moments of not fitting in, are the friction that helps sharpen their identity. You recall the times when you saw through the masks people wore, yet remained silent, and how uncomfortable it felt to simply go along with things that didn't make sense? This is the essence of being a Sigma male. It's not about trying to prove you're better than anyone else, but about understanding why certain things never sat well with you, why following the crowd always left you feeling empty, why shallow connections never filled the void for something deeper, more meaningful. Once you embrace this truth, the relief is immediate. You're not broken, you're different, and that difference is your strength. There's no need to apologize for the way you think or the way you process the world. Your need for depth, your tendency to question, and your desire for authenticity aren't flaws. They are intrinsic traits of your Sigma nature. This realization doesn't hit with a loud bang, but rather it's like putting on glasses for the first time. Suddenly, everything comes into sharp focus. You understand why you've always felt like you were playing a different game than the rest. What sets Sigma males apart is that they don't just see the game, they see the whole playing field. The most remarkable thing is, this isn't the end of your story. It's the start of something far more exciting. Once you accept your Sigma identity, each step forward feels more genuine, more aligned with who you truly are. You stop following the paths others have paved and begin to create your own. This is where the power of Stoic life lessons comes into play. Just as Marcus Aurelius advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Sigma males take control of their path and actively shape their destiny. It's no longer about fitting into a mold, but about living authentically and carving your own way on your own terms. You're not following someone else's script anymore. You're writing your own, and that in itself is the ultimate freedom. Number 2, the quiet rebellion. Have you ever felt like you were simply going through the motions, chasing after things that didn't really matter to you? In a world where so many people are obsessed with status, materialism, and fitting in, you begin to realize that all of it just feels hollow. While others run after trends, constantly seek validation from social media, or focus on outward symbols of success, you find yourself pulling away, craving something deeper, something real. This isn't a rebellion against society. It's the quiet emergence of your true self, a strong Sigma personality asserting itself. You're learning to embrace solitude, and with that space you find the freedom to focus inward and pursue what truly interests you, even if it feels unconventional to others. This process of stepping away from the crowd is not about defiance for the sake of defiance. It's simply about shedding the distractions that keep you from discovering your true path. As Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, once said, "Individuation is the process by which a person becomes the person they are inherently meant to be." For Sigma males, this often means breaking free from the endless race for social approval and material success. You start making decisions that others don't understand. Maybe you choose a quiet evening reading a book over attending the latest party. Or perhaps you invest in your personal growth while others are out chasing status symbols that won't add real value to their lives. These choices may seem strange to those around you, but to you, they feel natural. As you step away from the crowd's pull, you begin to experience a mental clarity that you may not have realized was missing. It's as if you've turned down the background noise you didn't even know was drowning out your thoughts. This mental clarity is one of the key traits of high-value men who embody the Sigma personality. The ability to think independently and make decisions based on what aligns with your true self is a power that few ever experience. It's not about rejecting society for the sake of being different. It's about freeing yourself from societal expectations to become more authentic. While others might label your actions as rebellious or antisocial, you know the truth. You're not rebelling against anything. You're simply stepping into alignment with who you've always been, unencumbered by the need for external validation. Think about it. How often do you find yourself going along with the crowd just because that's what everyone else is doing? How much of your time and energy is spent trying to impress others, to chase things that ultimately leave you unfulfilled? The power of this quiet rebellion, of choosing authenticity over conformity, is one of the most important Stoic life lessons. It's about finding peace in your own path, and in doing so you become more resilient, more grounded, and more connected to your true purpose. The Sigma male isn't concerned with what's trending or what others think of him. Instead, he focuses on what truly adds value to his life, cultivating growth, wisdom, and self-awareness. This journey of embracing solitude and pulling away from societal expectations may feel lonely at times, but it's the path to real growth. It's the path to becoming who you were always meant to be. And as you continue on this journey, you'll find that you're no longer just moving away from something, you're moving towards something greater, your best self. The quiet rebellion, then, is not about rejecting the world, but about rejecting the parts of the world that hold you back from discovering your own truth. It's the way forward for any high-value man who seeks a life of purpose, peace, and authenticity. So, ask yourself, are you ready to step away from the noise and start walking your own path? The world doesn't need another follower. It needs someone willing to be true to themselves, no matter what others think. If you're ready to stop being predictable, if you're ready to become the man she can't quite figure out, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, "I am the mystery she will never solve." Number 3. The solitude shock. Loneliness is the poverty of self. Solitude is the richness of self. May Sarton. Welcome to Win Stoic, where we explore Stoic life lessons and unlock the key to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where being alone just felt strange? Maybe you're used to always being surrounded by people, filling every moment with noise and conversation, At first, being alone can feel unsettling, almost like a void that needs to be filled. But here's the thing. As time passes, something profound begins to happen. You start to appreciate your own company. You begin to see solitude not as loneliness, but as freedom. For Sigma males, this experience is nothing short of transformative. They recognize that solitude is a gift, a space to process, think, and reflect. While most people might feel the urge to fill every moment with chatter or distractions, Sigma males use solitude as a tool for personal growth. It's during these quiet moments that they uncover new layers of themselves, confront their deepest thoughts, and refine their goals. What others see as isolation, they see as a treasure chest of clarity. They are not hiding from the world. They're allowing their minds the space to breathe, uninterrupted by the noise of external expectations or social pressures. Elaine Aron, a psychologist known for her work on sensitive people, writes about deep processors, individuals who need solitude to process their experiences and thoughts fully. Sigma males in many ways embody this trait. For them, alone time is not simply a preference, it's a necessity for mental clarity. The more they spend in solitude, the more they come to understand the depths of their own thoughts and feelings. In fact, they discover something fascinating. The quiet moments they experience aren't empty. They are filled with insights that help shape their understanding of themselves and the world around them. Think about the times when you've been alone and felt restless, maybe even uncomfortable. But imagine if instead of avoiding that restlessness, you embraced it. What would it feel like to sit with your thoughts and allow them to flow naturally, without the need to distract yourself? Sigma males thrive in these quiet moments. They see silence not as an absence, but as a fertile ground where ideas can grow, where personal transformation can occur. The constant pressure to perform socially, to always do or say something, fades away, and in its place is a calmness that allows for self-discovery and clarity. Susan Cain, the author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking, calls this phenomenon the power of quiet. For those who embrace solitude like Sigma males, this quiet power is empowering. It allows them to access their true thoughts, hone their creativity, and build the mental resilience needed to thrive in a noisy world. While many people become restless in silence, Sigma males find it invigorating. They've learned that the more they allow themselves to be alone, the more they connect with their authentic selves. Let's consider a real-life example. You've probably encountered people who are afraid of being alone with their thoughts. They constantly seek distractions, whether through social media, TV, or even endless chatter, to avoid facing their inner world. Yet for Sigma males, these moments of solitude become precious. They aren't antisocial or disconnected from others. They've simply found a deeper understanding of themselves. And through this understanding, they've unlocked a truth that many miss. True strength often grows in quiet moments. It's in these moments that they can reflect, realign their thoughts, and truly grow. Being alone isn't about avoiding people or withdrawing. It's about finding your natural rhythm, the space where you can be the most honest and authentic version of yourself. So what can we learn from this? The next time you find yourself alone, instead of rushing to fill the silence or distract yourself, embrace it. Understand that being alone doesn't have to be uncomfortable. In fact, it can be the most powerful tool for personal growth. Take the time to listen to your thoughts, to reflect, and to connect with yourself. Recognize that your moments of solitude are not wasted time. They are your opportunity to gain clarity, insight, and strength. In the end, the ability to be comfortable with your own company is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. This is the Stoic life lesson. True strength is born from solitude, not from the noise of the world. So, embrace those quiet moments, for it is in them that you will truly discover the depth of your potential. Number 4, the unexpected pressure. As you begin embracing your individuality, something shifts inside of you. You might notice the subtle or not so subtle judgment from your friends, family, and colleagues. It's as though the world wants you to conform, to fit into the mold they've created, and they just don't understand why you need space or why you prefer silence. Why don't you chase the same goals or follow the same paths as everyone else? The weight of their expectations can feel heavy at times, but in the midst of it, you begin to notice an inner strength rising within you. You start to realize that their opinions don't define your worth. You begin to understand that who you are is enough, regardless of what they think. But then come the questions. Why are you so quiet? Why don't you hang out with us more? Don't you want to be normal? At first, these questions might feel like small annoyances, but for Sigma males, they hit harder. They aren't just irritating, they're pressure points meant to make you question yourself, to get you to doubt your choices. It's easy to feel the urge to explain yourself, to justify why you prefer solitude, or why you don't engage in the same pursuits others do. But as time passes, you realize that you don't need to explain yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation for simply being true to who you are. Robert Glover talks about how society often mistakes non-conformity for defiance. But the truth is, being a Sigma male isn't about defying anything. It's about staying true to your natural self, following the path that feels authentic, and not being swayed by the expectations of those around you. Society might label your independence as a problem to fix, but the more you embrace it, the more you recognize that it is, in fact, your greatest strength. Have you ever thought about how the more you try to fit in, the more you feel like you're losing yourself? The more you try to chase others' dreams and ideas, the more you feel disconnected from your true self. In these moments, the pressure from society becomes almost unbearable. It comes in waves, sometimes subtle, like hints or comments about how you should fit in better, and sometimes it's more direct, with people criticizing your choices. For the Sigma male, these experiences come with their own unique challenge. The more authentic you become, the harder others try to change you. But what happens next might surprise you. Each judgment, each comment, each attempt to make you conform only strengthens your resolve. You might find that the more pressure you face, the more your inner compass becomes clear. You start to trust your instincts more than anyone's opinions. At first, this can feel isolating, but as you continue, you realize that this isn't about proving anyone wrong. It's about staying true to yourself, no matter how much pressure is placed on you. When the world demands you be someone else, your quiet strength grows. It doesn't grow despite the pressure, it grows because of it. This is a crucial turning point for any high-value man, when you learn to trust yourself, your authenticity, and your own inner wisdom more than anything else. The more the world pushes you to fit in, the stronger you become in your decision to stand out. It's not about being contrary just for the sake of it. It's about recognizing that your path, your choices, and your way of being are valid. Have you ever experienced that moment when you realized that despite everything, you were on the right path? How does it feel to let go of the need for external validation and trust that your own truth is enough? When you reach that point, you stop seeing the world's pressure as something to be overcome, but rather as the fuel that strengthens you. The quiet strength you're building isn't just the absence of noise. It's the power of standing tall in your own skin, unshaken by the judgments of others. And this, my friend, is the essence of true freedom. So, what's holding you back from fully embracing who you are? Why let the world's opinions define your worth when your own strength and authenticity are enough? Number 5. The revelation. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful people in the room don't speak the loudest? It's as if they carry a quiet confidence, drawing others in without ever raising their voices. While many scramble for attention and fight for the spotlight, these individuals remain calm, grounded, and true to themselves. Have you ever wondered what makes them stand out without doing anything? The answer lies in authenticity. True strength doesn't come from what you say or how loudly you speak. It comes from who you are, what you stand for, and the steady, unwavering energy you bring into any room. The ancient philosopher Lao Tzu wisely said, "The softest things in the universe overcome the hardest things." And this is exactly the mindset of Sigma males. They understand that real power doesn't require loud declarations or forcing others to notice. It's about living your truth and letting your presence speak volumes. Sigma males possess something rare, the ability to influence without trying. Jordan Peterson calls this quiet power, the kind that doesn't announce itself but still shapes everything around it. Think about this: when someone walks into a room and you immediately feel their presence without them saying a word, it's not because they're trying to command attention, it's their quiet confidence that does all the work. This is how your energy works as a Sigma male. You don't push, you don't need to convince others of your worth, and you don't seek external validation. You simply exist in your truth, and people are naturally drawn to you. Have you ever noticed how people lean in when you speak? It's not because you're louder than everyone else, it's because your words have depth. You've mastered the art of speaking only when it truly matters. Unlike others who fill the space with meaningless chatter, your silence speaks volumes. Your quiet power is something that many fail to grasp, but you understand its beauty. True power doesn't come from manipulation or controlling others. It comes from embracing who you are unapologetically. And here's the most powerful truth. True power is not something you take, it's something you earn. The moment you realize that you don't need to demand respect is when you unlock something most people will never understand. True power is not in the noise you make, but in your ability to stand firm in your truth. This is Stoic happiness. Living authentically, embracing your inner power, and letting that speak louder than any external validation. In a world where so many chase attention, you'll find that real influence comes from standing still in your own strength, not trying to be seen, but simply being who you are. This is the quiet power that can change everything around you. Number 6. The growth spurt. Have you ever wondered what it means to be truly independent? Many people associate independence with shutting themselves off from the world, cutting ties, staying isolated, and avoiding connections. But for those who embrace the Sigma mindset, independence doesn't mean pushing everyone away. In fact, as you evolve and grow, you'll begin to realize that true independence is about curating the relationships that matter and forming deep, meaningful connections with people who truly understand you. As the British psychiatrist and psychoanalyst John Bowlby wisely said, the most independent people often form the strongest bonds. This becomes especially clear as you navigate the Sigma journey. Your need for space and solitude doesn't signal a desire to be alone. It signals a deeper understanding of how to connect. You'll find yourself surrounded by a small, tight-knit circle of people who respect your need for solitude, but also deeply value what you bring to the table. What's interesting about this stage is how your perspective on relationships shifts. As you continue to embrace your Sigma traits, you'll naturally start filtering out those surface-level interactions that often dominate our social circles. While others may have a wide network of acquaintances, you begin to build something far more valuable, a few genuine, quality relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Isn't it true that many people spend their time maintaining friendships or connections that feel shallow or unfulfilling? It's like they're just going through the motions to avoid being alone. But being a Sigma means you no longer waste time in those kinds of relationships. You realize that depth is far more rewarding than quantity, and you make conscious decisions to nurture the connections that align with your values. At this stage, you come to understand that being independent doesn't mean isolating yourself. It means choosing your connections carefully. It's not about pushing people away. It's about inviting those into your life who genuinely add value and who appreciate the space you need to grow. This is selective connection, not isolation. As you move forward in your life, remember that true connection doesn't require you to abandon your independence. Instead, it's about fostering relationships that are built on respect, trust, and mutual understanding. As a high-value man, you've learned that true strength lies not in the number of people you know, but in the depth of the connections you nurture. The Stoic life lesson here is clear. True independence leads to more meaningful relationships when you are selective about who you allow into your world. So, as you continue on your journey, ask yourself, are the people in my life contributing to my growth, or am I simply filling the space with superficial connections? Take the time to build and invest in the relationships that truly matter to you, and you'll see how powerful a small, meaningful circle can be. Thank you for joining us today. Before we dive deeper, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude for being a part of our community. Feel free to share your thoughts or simply comment, "I am Stoic," if you've experienced this journey before. Number 7. The fulfillment. Accepting yourself fully. There comes a time in every high-value man's journey when he fully accepts who he is. You stop second-guessing your decisions and no longer feel the need to explain yourself to others. It's at this moment that the realization hits. Being a Sigma male isn't just a personality trait. It's a lifestyle, a way of moving through the world with purpose and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And for Sigma males, this truth becomes undeniable. When you reach this level of self-acceptance, your mind no longer fuels doubt or insecurity. Instead, it becomes your strongest ally. You realize that the traits that once made you feel isolated, your deep thinking, your need for space, your authentic nature, are not weaknesses. They are your superpowers. The very qualities that made you feel different from others are now your greatest strengths. You no longer view being a Sigma male as a challenge to overcome, but as a gift to embrace. Think about how often we try to fit in with others, constantly adjusting ourselves to meet the expectations of society. We chase after approval, only to realize that it never truly satisfies. But when you reach this point of self-acceptance, you stop trying to mold yourself to fit into someone else's idea of success. You start to understand why you are the way you are, and that understanding sets you free. It's no longer about proving yourself to anyone. It's about being true to who you are, no explanations needed. This is when the quiet strength of a Sigma male becomes clear. You stop chasing validation and start walking your own path unapologetically. This stage isn't an ending, but rather a new beginning. It's the starting point where you can simply be yourself, free from the need to justify or explain. The pressure to conform fades away, and you realize that your life was never meant to follow the same path as everyone else's. You're carving your own way, living authentically and confidently, and letting your actions speak for themselves. This is a powerful Stoic life lesson. True happiness doesn't come from external approval or fitting into societal molds. It comes from within, from understanding who you truly are and embracing that truth fully. So, as you move forward, remember that your journey is yours alone, and the path you walk will always be different from the crowd's. And that's exactly what makes it so powerful. The more you accept yourself, the more you realize that there's nothing you need to prove to anyone. This is how high-value men live their lives, not for the approval of others, but for the fulfillment of their own authentic selves. If you found this video insightful, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more valuable content on modern Stoic principles and Sigma mindset. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Your feedback means a lot. Stay connected with Win Stoic by turning on notifications so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay strong and keep evolving with us here at Win Stoic.